Guys, who did well on the test? Someone tell me because I completely failed mine so bad.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Oh, my score was horrible. It was written written test.
Be right back. I'm getting coffee.
Huh?
He's getting coffee, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's too hot in this room. My mom complains it's too cold. The who got a higher score, please. I got like a 50 on it. Just to get me happy. Someone just tell me before I completely hurt myself.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening, Professor.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Okay, that was
Good
a long
evening.
cough. And hi.
So I actually went into your office hours and I was trying to figure out why you hung up the call.
Oh, yeah, I had left it open from my office hours earlier. I just forgot to close it out when I ran out of my office. I thought I saw somebody else in there, and I'm like, oh, it's 7. They'll figure it out, I think.
It took me a minute, but I figured it
for
out.
World War II.
Yeah, World War II indeed. In terms of the test, I
was upset about it. It was
yeah,
so
well, understandably, some of the questions were
Went from a 62 to an 82 for some reason.
yeah.
so I curved it and corrected 2 questions. So everybody got a bump.
By 10.
Yeah, a 10-point bump, and then maybe another.
Actually, I had a 72 and made it in.
I got a 50, dude. I got a 50.
possibly an extra.
It's okay. I did pretty bad too. I got like a 50 something with that bump. I'm just not good at retaining information.
Me too. I used the notes, of course. Just some questions were like not even in the notes at all.
Yeah,
You
there was
guys
a
agree with me, right?
few of those that was And this is where the challenge of like online teaching is definitely adds more to the mix than just a regular class. Having to like import everything and write them for, you know, for Canvas and put them all in. It's very easy to miss the misselect the answer.
Will you be offering like an extra credit, Professor?
Yes. Well, technically, my grade's still an A, which I'm still kind of happy, but still, I'm still kind of waiting for the next coming tests in the future.
Yeah, no, I am. I curved it by 10, so 10 points, and then like auto credited one or two other questions to everybody. So
Wait, you know, I was more confused when you kind of mentioned something about the harem thing. I did was just clicked all the rest of that, all those, and I still got it wrong. That was above the part, all above. That really made no sense.
yeah,
Was that still counted though?
I hear you on that. That one counts. It just doesn't
Change it.
yeah, so like probably adding 15, 16 points to everybody's grade with between the curve and the two questions. I feel like that's why I'm being generous with a curve. I'm like, because somebody got 100% on the test.
100.
Yeah, after I corrected one of the questions that was definitely wrong. There was a couple other ones on there, like Noah had pointed out and made the case that the KKK was in response to the to prohibition, which I realized that when I was writing it, even, but I decided to
It's false. I don't know.
leave the question is because it really isn't a matter of if that contributed to the rise of the KKK, in that it kind of empowered fringe groups in general, like the mob.
No,
But
sorry.
like the KKK, the second generation of it, really starts from Birth of a Nation in 1915 with that film, long before prohibition's, passed and made legal. So I'm going to reword those questions for, any future use.
Even about the weapons, I think there's a question about the weapons that affected the war. I think the question was that.
About World
That
War.
was the question. I don't remember the question. It just says something about which weapons was devastating the war.
Yeah, I think that was about World War One.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
It
it was
would've
kind of
been
confusing. It was
poisonous.
kind of confusing. Some say that it was started by rifles or bombs. I wasn't completely sure.
Well, let's see here. Yeah, okay. So in terms of like points for the test, like I'm trying to spot you guys plenty. And I'd mentioned this last week, I think, that we're gonna go ahead and do Forrest Gump for our extra credit film. So I'll set that up soon. Maybe what's that?
I'm
What?
sorry, that was Marshawn. I said, yay, I love that movie.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's great. It's great. And a lot of you guys have not seen it. Here, let me turn these colors down. There we go. That's a little nicer.
And sorry if you hear a baby noise in the background.
Just remember to mute yourself if you're not talking. If you're talking, I can live with it for sure. Well, before we start and get into like World War II in the thick of it, anybody have any thoughts, not on the test or projects, but on the election?
I was happy that the people are voting for Biden instead of Trump. Like, please.
Yeah,
I was happy.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I was more happy.
He took some.
Sorry, Emma.
Trump won 4 years ago.
Yeah. No, so I was kind of surprised.
voted
I was surprised that California even voted for him, and even though I think they did for Trump. I'm not really sure.
No, California hasn't voted for a Republican since Ronald Reagan, I don't think.
So
Yeah, that's why people in California are like, well, it doesn't really matter what you vote for. But of course it does in the popular vote count, which again, Biden's ahead by in that as well. Doesn't mean that
Not
helps
giving
the
Trump the
president at all.
he's won.
we don't know yet exactly, because I do know Biden was just need 6 more votes, I believe, to completely win the election. But I do know Trump is still a bit far back.
Yeah, he's well, and I listened to a poll where they were talking about the it was like exit polls asking voters kind of what they cared about the most, and the majority, by like I think it was like maybe 27-30%, said the economy. But then right behind that was racial division in the country, and then right behind that was the pandemic, the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, really.
Now we're talking about
Trump
World
has-
War II.
Yeah, well, Trump is like he's bad on all 3 of those right now, because people are saying, well, the economy is great. The stock market is very high, but like we just saw in the 20s, right, when we were looking at leading up to the Great Depression, a really high stock market, it might just, especially if it's grown a ton in a handful of years, it's usually a sign of like inflation or a bubble, that inflates and pops. So especially for those of you that are like around the 20-year mark, in early 20s, it will probably feel impossible to even be able to afford rent right now or anytime in the future, let alone being able to buy a house. But you can and you will, because the stock market will take plunges and the housing market will pop, just like it has for the last 100 years at least. It'll happen again until we regulate it. I don't know when. Maybe probably Biden getting elected, like if he gets elected and confirmed, that might be a good sign. That might slow things down.
Well, sorry. I heard my cousin say that he might support blacks and the LGQ. I can't pronounce that, but that's what she told me.
Who,
the-
Biden?
Yeah, I think that's what my cousin told me about if Biden was elected for president. But I'm not sure if it's completely true, because I don't remember what he actually really said. I don't remember. I don't remember though. But people like start making, I don't know where I heard this, but people start thinking negative of what else happens if Biden was elected. But I don't remember.
It's
Yeah,
all to try to scare you. That's all what it is. They're just trying to scare you. Do not believe the hype.
Speaking of scaring people, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I was working the polls, and like too many people are trying to wear like, because when you're voting, you're not allowed to like wear anything that like shows any type of candidate or your support towards them. We had to turn in like I'm personally like, I'm a purple person, but I just can't tell people to like, get out. So my friend would just tell them like, yo, you can't wear that in here. You got to cover up. Like somebody was wearing, it wasn't even a mask. It was a miniature Trump flag wrapped around his face. But so they did, it wasn't even masked. It wasn't even masked. It was like a miniature Trump flag right across his face. So they made him turn it inside out, and you can like still see it. But my thing is, Trump makes masks, I believe. Like, please, if you're gonna like, please wear masks for my safety.
Yeah.
It's intimidation process. That's all they've been doing is intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of intimidation and a lot of like
Yep.
tampering.
What do you think, Isaac?
What's up?
You try to speak up like 3 times, and
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
I'm a very avid Trump supporter. I really despise the fact
Sorry.
that Joe Biden is shutting down the oil industry. It's going to screw a whole lot of Americans out of jobs, especially in Texas, Pennsylvania, so on and so forth.
I thought he was pro fracking.
I heard they said he's gonna
I
make
don't know where he
he's gonna
stands.
sell weapons for people that have license for that.
I don't know where he stands on that. Like I watched the debate. In one part, he's like, "I'm not for fracking." The next part, he is for fracking.
Oh.
He's for fracking.
That's
Like,
politicians, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah,
Oh.
in the SNL skit, they were talking about Joe Biden. It was like fracking depends on where I am at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, I heard that. I heard-
Honestly, I love the way this country is standing since Trump took office. Like the unemployment rates are down. We are getting increases in stock market, but I also see where you're coming from as well, Professor. Like
It's
it
like
could
Trump didn't do a thing when the whole
devastate.
COVID happened. You knows that?
Yeah, but COVID has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It
Sorry.
was not created by Donald Trump.
I know, but he's like,
Hey,
Yeah, but he
can I
had a
just ask
plan in place. He had a plan in place that the last
Oh.
president had left for in case something like this happens, and he didn't act on it.
okay,
Not
my
So
only a
bad.
plan,
while
they were
COVID
all
is not his
No,
fault,
no.
Uh,
Listen, listen to me. I work in the medical field, okay? And there
Oh.
was absolutely depletion of PPEs back from H1N1, okay? Our country was depleted of PPE back then. That was a long time ago, over 10, so many years ago. And it was
well, AV
not-
Hospital also had a CEO who freaking like robbed the whole doggone place as well. That's why y'all had to go through all that the CVO differences.
yeah, that has nothing to do with that.
the reason
Anyway,
people are holding.
I just have to ask a question about the timeline project. Sorry to change the subject real quick, but
It's okay.
I
was
know,
about to-
Noah, you had mentioned that you were going to talk about how the timeline could be brought into your account, because we already started a timeline and we made you a collaborator, but we don't know how to put it under your account.
Let me see. I'm opening up my Satori right now. Yeah, I think Marshawn and maybe one other group, you guys had started a Satori page, and I was on there. Like I was registered in there with you. So the women's rights group and What is an American, both of you guys made a group that I'm a collaborator in. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's either under me in my teaching account or I'm just collaborating. Either way, it doesn't really matter. All I need to do is be able to see it and access it.
Okay, so you're okay if we just make you a collaborator, which we did, and then as long as you can access it, you're fine. Because I noticed that on Canvas, to turn it in, there's like a submit button. So right there, I mean, I don't know if you want us to at the end submit it through Canvas, like the link, or I wasn't
Yeah,
clear on-
just the hyperlink to it. That's
yeah,
all.
okay, that's fine, cool.
So, but you said you already made me a collaborator. I don't see a photography thing under my stuff here.
Well, it's weird because it was made by one of the students from the other class, the online class. That's why. His name is Jordan. He joined our group, and then he put you in as a collaborator. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere.
I think if he makes you a collaborator, you might have to. It might be like an invite on your email, maybe.
Well, Marshawn, what did you
Is that
guys
possible?
do? Because that seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah. How did you do
I
it?
just went into my Satori. It took me like all day, but I just saw where I can add my group members, and then I added you as like an editor. And I don't know how I'm going to be honest. I just had to play around with it. It took me an hour.
Well, who
So-
else is
so-
in
So
here
you
right
added
now? That,
him. You
hold up.
added him as the collaborator, right? You added him as a collaborator. You think?
Yeah, I added him as a collaborator, so that way he can, if he needed to edit it. Well, I knew he wasn't going to do that, but I just figured, and then I added like my group members as that as well.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
But I don't know how to like put like, because she had already started, so I don't know how to put hers and mine's together.
I don't think you can combine them.
Oh, okay.
You might be able to copy
Mm-hmm.
your stuff over. So, like, let me see here.
I don't even know if I use the right format too. That's another question I was going to ask you.
Oh, in terms of like the layout of the timeline or writing?
Correct.
I know what
Because you can
party
see what I
caught
have
on.
so far, and I'm not sure if that's like right.
Yeah, no. It looked good. I was just trying to see. You can't really copy stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think you just have to manually copy everything. No, this looks great. There's a header here. I'll screen share so you guys.
Noah, can you look at your chat, please?
My what?
Other Noah, sorry, Professor.
Oh. Okay, let's see. There you go. You guys can see my screen. This is what is American. So you got a header title there, and then this is good. Like this.
Good definition for American.
Here, I'm gonna mute you guys. There we go. Yeah, this is good. It's like a nice kind of overflow of, this is like a little hook there with the English, the dictionary definition. That's clever. And then, yeah, this is like you're starting to get here, and I'm assuming that this right here is like the source for this. Is that right?
Correct. That's the source. Yes.
So like the easiest way to do this would be like which specific source is this instead of just Wikipedia. So you need the actual hyperlink, but what you can do is come in here and say link, and you can paste your link in there, and it will yeah, there, fake currency. This was a thing I was just reading about. I think I told you guys about this when the North was making counterfeit Confederate dollars to mess up their economy. So I'll remove
I
that.
remember that.
So yeah, you can either paste the hyperlink in there, which you could do if you were like, say, and then you could just copy that if you wanted to, and you come up to this little, little chain link icon there, and then I could put that hyperlink in there. So now if I clicked on this, it'll take me there. So either because you might want to do you might want to just have that and then be able to add a picture in here if you want, like if you come
Okay.
right. So and you don't have to have like a picture for everything or a graph, like I try to put one for everything in our material because we're visual people. We need a little eye candy to, like get through some. So, finding, cool pictures or graphs or maps or charts, as well as like the, historic photos or artwork or whatever from the items you're talking about, or like link to an article, and it'll post that up there like with an image attached to it, usually, not always, but it usually has one. So yeah, for like in terms of citing something for this, if you've got the link to it, you're golden. If you're actually quoting out of a book, put the quotations, put a picture of the cover of the book or a link to the book on Amazon or something like that. And then, at the end, you can just attribute the quote and the book and maybe like the date it was published. And it's not like I'm not going to ding anybody on format.
Okay. And then that's when I put the YouTube video of like the Revolution, like oversimplified, because it goes with the second part of the article that I posted as well. Like, because it's, like this definition of American, like being classified as an American, like happened in 1777 or 76. And so that's why I connected those two, but I wasn't really sure if that was even correct in that way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so what you'd want to do is like
clean that up a little bit.
Yeah, you can clean it up a little bit, add a title to it. So if you come in here and like, okay, I want to type here, you can make the text size bigger and say,
To do that, I was trying to do that.
yeah. So yeah, you just, that doesn't look right. You just come up here to the select text size and you can do it that way. And then if you want to make more headers in between things, yeah, you've got that. You figured that out. You just kind of click, and instead of adding one of these types of things in there, you click header and it'll put a big header section in there. And right here, bibliography, this is a newer feature actually, I think, on Satori, but you could click that and like put this at the very end of your thing for any of the books that you cite or works of art or artists, or if you wanted to put all of your major, links or articles or sources you went to. That's cool. That's a good way to do that down there. There's, like I said, though, this is not like, I'm really trying to test more your ability to like creatively and critically think through issues and history.
Correct.
Then like I am concerned about you guys' like writing, even writing abilities. So you have to write in here, but like not like you do in a paper, because the reality is the college doesn't even make you take English 101 or have the prerequisite finished before you take this, and they want us to do a giant research paper. It's like people could be coming in here not knowing how to write sentences together. That's how I was when I showed up at community college. Like that'd be very challenging. So on this one, you don't have to worry as much about your your style.
Visual. Oh, the style. Okay.
It's good. Like it's more like you don't have to try to be overly eloquent or even trying to sound overly formal and academic. Don't try to not have spelling errors, and probably don't use contractions unless there's a real point to it. Like like a magazine, right? Not maybe like an academic journal, but it's also not like a note you're passing to your friends. So do your best in there. And so with this like video you got, I would say, yeah, so this is in here, which is starting in 1865, not I don't know anything about politics. So like
I'm serious, I know nothing. All I know is
somebody's loud.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. You just want to write something in here on this section about American, including the American Revolution and summing up why that is, or like, the thought like that you're connecting something. So a little further down, you might be in the 1890s and have something that connects back before Civil War again, or way back forward into like the 80s or 90s.
yeah, I saw everything.
You just have to kind of put on connect the dots.
Okay.
Someone needs to mute somebody's audio is going. It's loud. Sorry, I'm trying to listen to the professor. Sorry.
Is that you, Marshawn?
Yeah, that was me. I'm sorry. I'm putting me on mute. Sorry.
No. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, you were trying to talk, and it's not really much you can do about the noise sometimes. So it's all good. So on this, and here I'm going to bring my OneNote over so we can all see OneNote at the same time. We've got, our groups forming here. Again, for everybody live with us and anybody watching the video, you got to get a group going on. Even if it's just a couple other people, you can join somebody's if they're not full. But you can also like create your own if you're working with an idea. So yeah, we kind of fleshed a lot of these out in person on Zoom. And I've talked with several of you guys outside of class about these things. Yeah, so this is helpful right here, right? A few people have done like put a short description in there. I might add another column or two, or maybe start coloring out, like put in the colored background on groups that are full that have like 5 members and can't really join, so it's easier to tell which ones are open and not open. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to be on tomorrow with some people about 4:30 or 5 to work on some of these group project ideas and hammer some stuff out and even help kind of work on structure and whatnot with people. So yeah, you guys can join me and others then 4:30 or 5. My regular Zoom address, not the class one. Both links are at the top of the syllabus. So it's just my regular one, or the one I use for office hours. We'll be on there by 5 for sure. Maybe 4:30. It was kind of left a little open-ended with people. And if you're busy or working, you can't make those times. Let's figure something else out. We'll do something over the weekend. Or Friday. I've got some time Friday as well. I'll be in the office most of the day. So yeah, we can like work that out, work stuff out together. Any other big broad questions about the because the Satori one and how to add was helpful. Just going back over here for a second. So if you or me wanted to
I guess I need to just add other people in my groups because I don't know. I just need to like add the other 2 women so they can start creating as well.
Why? No, I don't want to do that. How do we add people to these groups though? Oh, that is what I want to know. You don't remember how you did it? Here we go.
No, you see where your name is right there. It says 5. Where your name is right there. That's that part. That's where I was able to add you. Yeah, so I'm at right there.
Or that.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what I did. Oh no, share right there.
Share. Okay, yeah. So this one right here.
Yeah.
And you went to
share where it says share.
Yeah,
And then
so
I think I added.
I have share open now, and this is what it looks like. I can't change any of this stuff though, because I think I'm just an editor, not an owner. Only the creator.
Oh, okay.
Or a privacy setting. So I think only you can add people to it. So
Oh, okay, then I'll do that.
so whoever is in charge of creating the group, you'll just have to add everybody with their emails. I'm assuming it's the email address.
I just put her name and I was able to put her in there.
Oh, because she was already registered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, I mean, you guys can work on that. That's an important all groups question that good to figure out now. So you guys can get in there and start actually not putting ink to paper, but
but she had already like made her Satori already. And so it's like, I was trying to figure out how to add her part, like the part of the American Dream to it. Cause I figure I can put that later on in the timeline.
It looks good though. It looks really good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is off to a great start. It won't actually take long if you just like add a header on her thing and open.
Okay.
You've got 2 of them open. You go back over here. And then same thing here. And you might just have to copy that. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Shoot. Uh-oh. Did I just mess your stuff up? Oh my gosh. No, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, you did. Go back.
I know.
There we go.
Okay. So there we go. I think we're back. So you copy it and like you want to add that. Just come down here, text, and then paste. So, and you might have to mess around with the format a little bit again. This is what I've had to be doing with all my Satori boards as I'm trying to update them to go along in here. So it's a newer program. It's not super old. I'm actually going to interview one of the founders of Satori on Stereo on Sunday. He lives in Belgium. So we're gonna get on and talk about. I've emailed him for years, but we've never talked. So I'll be talking to Jonathan Ketchel, who's one of the. I think him and his brother founded the company. But it's a newer program, so you can't like bulk edit things, or hopefully one day those features will come around. They're pretty good about adding new features frequently, though. They're always working on this. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Stop the screen share for a moment.
Yeah, I know how the Air Force was formed and everything.
So what I was telling somebody earlier at the office hours, I think I was talking with Francis actually, and saying that in doing a project like this, you can divide it up kind of sectionally if you want, where it's like take this section, that section, that section. Unless you're working really closely together with like tying some themes and like reading what everybody's writing while they're doing it, it's going to feel kind of clunky and like maybe like 4 or 5 reports almost. Doing something where you're kind of talking a lot or collaborating on Zoom or like, oh, even in OneNote, you can make a page for just, your group. And kind of picking out the strands of each topic you want to do. So, right, like on like what is American, it could be like, well, somebody does like maybe like, hey, what are like the like defining historical moments in American history since, you could do some huge landmark ones. What's that?
That's how this country was formed.
That's where I put in the first part oversimplified. That I put the Revolutionary War because that is what is defined as when we went into that war. What is defined as an American. So
yeah, you'll see like what the country's ideals are, what the country's moral code is, and you find out that Americans stood up against the tyranny of the British, the tyranny of the communist regimes, and all sorts of stuff. Like we could bring up like the Red Scare, how we stood up against communist regimes and stood up for the rights of humans.
Well, so in terms of like in terms of like structuring though or working together, if somebody went through and did that with all the defining moments, right? So the Revolutionary War is kind of like boom, that's the starting point maybe. But then all these different like once you're at 1865, right? Like do a few things before, then at 1865, you kind of start looking at those huge moments. And like some of the ones we looked at earlier, right? Like the Transcontinental Railroad, that's a huge like defining American moment, right? It kind of
this stands up for is there any mention of 9/11 in the American?
Well, like
I have to go down my timeline.
Yeah, like that was just like an example early on. Like you'd want to go through and do kind of all of the ones that you see as big defining moments or that you read about that people have said historically this was a huge defining moment for America. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you, then go like look at that event or thing or person and then watch some videos or read some stuff and try to understand, oh, this is why that was a big defining moment. And so you kind of plot out the kind of central historical piece of the timeline, make years, put the events in there, kind of put it in order. That's like you're part of the thing. You do that. Somebody else does kind of what is American. Maybe they do the American dream and talk about how people.
Yeah, that's what she's. What's her name? Oh, Gabrielle. She's doing her and the other girl is doing the American dream. And so I'm gonna throw in patriotism, like and I'm gonna put that with 9/11 and also Colin Kaepernick because I think in the Super Bowl, I feel like that's a like defining moment as well. It's like what you were talking about earlier, nationalism versus patriotism. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put that in there. I just I have to just figure it out and structure it where.
right? So
I don't
you
know
could do
what
that,
to
and
put
then
in.
somebody else could even they could do like media, like, hey, what is American in terms of like what we project is like
Oh, I didn't even think about
American. Well, like, and you could do a whole. There's so many other ones. You guys might want to go like, well, I'm going to do these two things through this. So like, getting something solid right in the middle of like, hey, here's the big moments that aren't going to move or shift at all, right? Like, because you might want to talk about cosmetics as kind of an American thing, and you're thinking about the 1980s, and then you realize, oh, cosmetic shops blew up in the 1920s. Huh. Well, now I need to move that back up there. You're not going to move like World War II or the moon landing or something like that. Like, those are just.
We can look
they're
at
gonna
cultural
be in
diversity as well.
What's that?
For sure, I put that in the definition. For sure.
Yeah. So like media, yeah, all kinds of different things. You can take all of those and each person can take one and write within and alongside of the things that the
media
first
coverage
person
of
or other
cultural
people are posting within there. And then when you notice, hey, these two things are like, they're within the same year or couple years, and they really go together. I wrote this, she wrote that. Let's move this up here and just kind of like attach it to this and put like, the next date. Like that's how I was doing it. That's how you can collaborate with each other on some of those things. So there's a nice kind of cohesion. And so I think that's the most,
Or we can bring up
probably
the war
the
on
best
terror
way
that's
to
going right
organize. I think that's probably the best way to structure doing this project. But you guys are free to do it however you want. Like you have total free range that way. Yeah, but
So should we bring
think
up the
that's a
war
good
on
division
terror?
of flavor.
We could. I mean, like I put,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I go by the definition of, like, I've already asked a couple friends like, what is American? And one person already says America is a freedom to choose. You can be who you want to be. So I figured I would tag in like some videos and some pictures of different cultures with his quote. And then someone says America is being pro-life while being pro-choice. And then attaching whatever goes with that little thing. And, probably go like the professor says in the timeline with like what was going on, when these little quotes were founded.
And, like in terms of that, you could even do, so there's sociologically, like people and authors have talked about this in the American dream and like kind of in different ways for a very long time. So you can just go kind of look at that, include all these different historic perspectives. You could also do
Bring
like
up the American dream and whether it's possible.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's some of the analysis you should definitely include. Like, while you're like, this was the projected like ideal. Was this ever possible? Like, what percentage of the population had this? And it's never very high. Is the answer?
I didn't even think about that as well. So that's good. And then if you do something about the war, maybe you can add it to the other group who only has 2 people, and we can just put it in both. Whatever you write, you can just add it to mine and probably add it to hers.
Yeah, if you guys
I think
wanted to like,
good choice. I mean, my father served during the war on terror.
Yeah, so like, it would be very interesting if you wanted to do like one person took the whole 150-year look at everything from a stance of patriotism.
Ooh.
And somebody else wanted to do the exact same thing under the lens of nationalism. But you do them kind of independently of each other and see what starts to line up on the timeline. I think that'd probably be pretty good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like nationalism being different from patriotism, right? It's this like, you have a duty to obey authority, and like the government, like we're like a sacred institution.
You have a civic duty to vote.
Yeah. Well, yeah, voting. It's like just the Nazis were highly nationalistic. highly nationalistic, right? Like that was their thing. That's one of the reasons they were so effective at controlling, like, the whole economy and everybody, and getting people, like, getting stuff moving. Hitler was crazy. He didn't give a crap about anything. He was like, he was smart though, and kind of like how he pushed boundaries just further and further and further. He just kind of pushed them, and so by like 1937, 38, 39, the Holocaust is like, boom. People have been killed, people have been rounded up, people have been shipped into some concentration camps, but by the time they're in a state of war, Hitler can do anything he wants. The SS can do anything they want. Nobody can question anything by the time they're in a state of war. That wasn't necessarily true in 1935, 34, but it's just kind of over years. He gets normalized, but then the like hyper fear element comes in because there's such high control. They can like just enforce the policy on everything across the board. Yeah.
Professor?
Yeah.
Professor? It's Eddie.
Hey, Eddie.
Question. I got your email, and then were you able to, I came in class late. Were you able to see if you had samples of other students? I know that was something you were trying to upload, but I'm not sure if you did or not.
Yes, and I forgot to. Let me go.
You did? I'm so excited. I already started my outline. I just need...
He showed
samples.
mine
See if I can get
earlier
it right.
in the day. He showed a little thing of my group.
Yeah, I think that was
Oh,
even
okay, because
helpful for people.
I came in late. I was at work with overtime, and I didn't have a choice. So I came in.
Oh, no worries. I'm gonna post the video. You can watch. I'll have that up there. This actually, I'm just recording right now from the last 10 minutes. I'm recording it just on my computer, not on Zoom, for like talking about group projects. And I'll post this with some of the stuff we talked about at the beginning of class.
Professor, did you get my email for the invite for my group and see if I get it on the right area in Satori? Can you check really quick?
I will check really quick.
It's under U.S. Wars.
Yes, okay. All right.
So Isaac, I'll
I don't see
add
an
you
invite.
so you can just like look and see if that's something you want to get into or whatever, and that would be that.
Okay, thank you.
I think that could be
Is the
cool.
professor gone? Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm still here.
Okay, I have a question, please.
Mhm.
I wanted to show you. Let me grab my phone.
What's
Okay,
that?
so for the group project, I don't know my group members. I don't know if you can email them and let them know so we can start doing it.
Let's see. What group are you in? Let's see here.
Pandemics.
Okay, so it looks like Jessica Dominguez,
Yes.
Miriam Sanchez,
Yeah.
and Lila Molina are
Yes.
in there with you?
Yes. Those,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so their emails are right there. I would just
email them, and then
Yeah.
like you said, okay, so like you said last time, so you said we can create like a page on Satori,
Mhm.
right? But I don't know how to do that. Can I share my screen so you can show me?
Yeah, here, I'll share my screen. I'll show you
Oh, okay.
on mine. Let me share my screen here. So, okay. Let's see here. What I want. This is not what I want. I thought I had a tab with Satori open. There it is. So if you go over to stories, if you click on, when you log in, your dashboard should look something like this. You wouldn't have a tab that says students, but you might have one that says teacher or educator or class or something.
Because I think you should do it in like a new share, because I'm only seeing the page of the groups.
Yeah, that's correct. Like, you wouldn't see this down here. This is what you're talking about, this professional development, teacher, tutorial. But you should see like a banner like this, and you click to create story, and they've got all kinds of different layouts there, but you can just click blank. And then it's all just click and drag. You can edit to put a little banner picture in there, and then you just click on it and you start typing. It's like you're right in there. You don't have to save anything. It's all auto, like, cloud saved, and then like, to add stuff, you just press on the plus button.
I'm trying to do it to see, because I can see like what you're talking about, the stories, and I can see that. Like, where is it?
Okay, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing, and why don't you see if you can screen share with me, and then I'll try to talk you through it.
Okay, so
all right, I can
here,
see.
so I don't know.
So you're in OneNote. Go over a tab to Satori.
So I should go to Satori.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hold on. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Go there. And then go up to the top. Yeah, go to stories now. See that up at the top center of the...
Right.
Yeah, click stories.
Now create.
Yeah, and now it says create your first story. And you can go through this. It's like a student tutorial for what to do if you're having trouble. But it's pretty easy. It's very kind of just drag and drop.
Blank one?
What's that?
This one?
Choose a blank one. I'm telling you to choose a blank one.
Pick a blank one and just kind of start fresh and kind of create as you go. And, you can play around, make it your own. But, you just stick to a basic, like, chronological timeline. And you don't have to be super rigid with stuff. Like I said, you can kind of, like, squeeze some things to fit. So it's not just tons of tiny little items.
So, go to share. Okay, that bottom, that blue,
Yeah.
go to share. That's where you're gonna enter the people you want to share. So you want to get their emails and attach their emails there.
What you can do if you go click back over to OneNote, you can copy those and you can add
So
them
if I
in.
share,
Oh, and
I'm
I'm added already.
Yeah.
invite others to my, like other people to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just gonna invite them. You're gonna invite, and then you guys are gonna be able to collaborate.
Oh,
Put
okay.
this information there. Work.
After that, and I'll just share, right, or invite.
Copy. Go back to
No, it
OneNote
doesn't
now.
matter.
Leave that open and go back to OneNote in the other tab.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No. Leave that. Oh, okay. Well, just leave that tab as it is. Don't close it or anything, and just open the OneNote tab.
huh? This one.
Yes, that one. Now go back to the group projects tab. Yep. And then just scan down to the pandemic group.
Oh. What's going on with this page?
Yeah, that's strange. It doesn't look like
Until you click in the center, it's gonna change it to the regular size. Just keep going down until you find your section.
Yeah, there you go. If you can, I would download the OneNote program or app if it's like I think on Chromebook they have a OneNote app. The OneNote online is cool, and like if you're somewhere else and want to check notes, it's great. You can just log in and check them, But the program works better than the online app. So it's free. So I'd encourage you guys all to do that. I like the program a lot more than the online version of it, if available.
Okay. Sounds good.
So yeah, then did you copy the email addresses?
Yes, I have it.
Okay, yeah, then just go back over
I
to
have it on my
Satori.
phone, but I haven't copied it. So I'm trying to fix this thing, but because normally it would show that you have to edit in a new browser. It doesn't show it here.
Well, you don't need to edit in a new browser. You can just highlight it and right click on it to copy.
Okay.
Professor, were you able to see my information on Satori?
Let me see here. Let me see.
Isaac, I already added you.
Okay, thank you.
It's not letting me copy at all.
Just highlight it and then.
It's not letting me at all. I
Oh,
don't
you
know,
can't highlight anything?
Something is wrong with the.
Where would I go to access the material?
I think on Satori.
Oh, good. Should I close this page now, or my cursor is not even moving anymore? I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna close. There's
I think you have too many apps going on, too many tabs open. That's
Yeah.
slowing down your computer.
all those tabs are gonna slow you down a lot, especially if you're running Zoom. I would close a lot of those tabs. I'd also grab the, like I said, download the app. It'll work quicker for you than the online version.
Can I also make a suggestion for her?
Yeah.
Also, if you go under Canvas, and you go under our email and hit history, you will get all of the classmates' emails, and you could just find them by name and then just attach them.
Oh yeah.
So, but you have to go to the Canvas, so you can get all of, you just search for history. It's gonna give you students or teacher or professor, and then you just hit students, and then you can just find it by name.
Yeah, and so when you create a new Satori under your Stories tab, and then go to share, you invite those email addresses. You can just add them in.
The email addresses, or you can just type it in by their name as well, and their class name should pop up.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody should be registered in there, and so yeah, you
The
should be able to
Satori,
just
right?
type their names.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, try looking up under Satori. I mean, yeah, under the share, invite,
Yeah, that's probably
and
even
just type in their
easier.
name.
See, right there, you can put, you can put if they can edit and then view, or you can do comment, comment, like can view and comment, but you want them to have edit so your class, your people in your group can participate all at the same time, almost like the notes.
So put your first name that you know that's in your group.
Yes, it's Jessica.
And
Just
type
type
it in.
Jessica, and then her, which
Which one
one?
is it?
Oh, okay. This one. Oh, okay.
Okay, under where it says, you see where it says can edit and comment? That's how you want to keep it, so that way she can like edit and comment on there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Just keep it like that.
So I'll go to the next name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Should be this one.
Click on it.
I don't even know which.
Gonna take off.
All right, bye, Isaac.
See you, dude.
Bye, Isaac.
Well, go back to your OneNotes and look at everyone that's in your group, and then you just add them one by one, or write them down and then add them one by one.
And then you guys communicate like that through Canvas or through there.
Yeah, you could do it through Canvas too. Yeah.
Sanchez Lopez. I think it's Sanchez Lopez, man. I think it's this one.
But before you do that, how about you go back to OneNote and just look to make sure that that's the one that's in
I'm
your
looking
group.
right now. It is Sanchez Lopez.
I checked her email. She has Lopez in there. Sanchez.
Okay.
All right, guys, I gotta hop off. I will.
Professor, you didn't tell me you're to see my story.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay.
I was waiting for that too. My bad.
Shucks. I got sidetracked.
Don't try to leave us so quickly.
I will look here. I see women's rights and.
So it's just 3 people. So do I have to add mine or no?
No, you're the one who created.
Oh, okay, so I'll just click done.
Yes, and then communicate through each other through Canvas.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what you're going to do? Because if you know what you're going to do, you can just start what you're going to do.
Okay, so I don't have to click any more share.
No.
Okay. Okay. So every time I log in, I can just come here.
Yes, it's going to be saved. You don't have to save anything. It saves automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do I
go? Exit from there and then watch the tutorial on how to do your project on adding videos, clicks, links, and all that. So, but you need to watch the video.
Like, so where do I put like the notes if I want to make notes and like, is it gonna be here?
If you want to just do notes with your team, yeah. If you want to, yeah, watch the video. I go over this. It's on YouTube. Watch those videos.
Yeah. Everything is on YouTube. Watch the tutorials. Going to tell you step by step.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
And Eddie, I can't see your thing. I can't see your thing. Sorry. I don't know where. Actually, Marshawn, I can't see yours now either.
Huh? You can't see me?
Let's see.
I shared you. I have you as my
I know.
I took off your edit. Oh, you want to edit?
Well, I just don't see it anywhere. It doesn't show up on my stuff.
I emailed you as a person of U.S.
What, my Satori doesn't pop up on you, or are you talking about my video camera?
No, Satori.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, now I see it again. Satori can be glitchy like that, unless you edited something.
No, I didn't do anything at all.
Okay, yeah, I just had to exit out and go back in a couple times. So no, it looks good, Eddie. I still can't see yours though. Are you there?
I'm here, but I emailed you, so I need to see what's going on. Okay.
Okay.
All right then. Bye, Professor. Have a good, lovely week and whatever. And
yeah, you too, guys. I'll be on stereo with my friend from Waco tomorrow at 2, and then I'll be on Zoom. I'll be on Zoom to talk about group projects at 5.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I thought you said you already recorded the one with the guy from
Branch Davidians. I did. It's on Sunday night, but we barely scratched the surface. We talked about a lot of stuff in an hour and a half or 2 hours. So afterwards, we decided, hey, let's not even try to do all that in one sitting, because it's going to be a lot, because there was sexual abuse and other cults and crazy stuff. So I told them, I'm like, hey, well, sketch out how you'd like to tell it, what kind of chapters or whatever. And so we plotted out 4 or 5 kind of episodes, if you will, to explore parts of his story.
Episodes? Somebody's under David Letterman.
Hey, I need one of those. What did he have? Who was his sidekick? Paul Schaefer? No, that's Leno. No, Paul Schaefer. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, I'll do that at 2, and if you guys want to come listen to some of that live stuff, because we're going to try to go back and start over again. So
the stereo let you ask live questions. I want to know, were there any food restrictions they had in the cults?
Yeah, it does do. It does do live audio. That's the only commenting that there is. It's just you hold down the comment button and you leave up to 60-second voice message. You can just talk and ask a question, leave a thought or comment, whatever, argue with the person talking. And we just try to kind of play through them and respond to them, and they start stacking up pretty quickly. Yeah, I was in a room last week that had 50 or 60 people in it. It was a lot. People were asking a lot of questions. So, you guys are welcome to come join us on that. And if not, I will be on Zoom about probably by 5. I'm going to try to be on by 5 on my regular hours, so we can talk about group projects. And if 5 doesn't work for you, and if you want to find another time, or you're watching this after 5 tomorrow, just email me about setting up a time to Zoom together. So, all right, guys.